My dear child, I see you walking the path I have laid out for you, even when the road feels uncertain. Even when shadows stretch long across your way, you wonder if you're lost, if you've strayed too far, if the weight of your journey is yours to carry alone. But listen closely, my child, you are never alone, not for a single step. I have walked beside you from the beginning, steadying your feet when the ground trembles, lighting the way when darkness closes in. Even in your loneliest moments, when silence feels heavy and the world seems indifferent, I am there. My dear child, do you not see? The solitude you fear is an illusion. I am closer than your next breath, nearer than your own heartbeat. You ask for signs, for proof that I am with you. But look around. The strength that rises in you when you're weary, that's me. The hope that flickers even in despair, that's my voice whispering to your spirit. My child, you are so deeply loved, so fiercely protected, that not a single moment of your life goes unwitnessed by my grace. When the night feels endless, remember this: the dawn is already mine. Every trial, every stumble, is part of a story far greater than you can see. So lift your head, my dear child. The road ahead is not meant to be walked in fear, but in faith, with my hand guiding you, my love shielding you, and my promise lighting the way. You are never alone. Rest in that truth tonight. Let it sink into your bones. For wherever you go, my child, I am already there. My dear child, I know the road you walk has not been easy. There have been moments when the weight of uncertainty pressed down on your spirit, when the future seemed veiled in shadows, and every step forward felt like a struggle against the wind. But listen to me now, my precious child, for I want you to understand this with absolute clarity. The path ahead is far brighter than you can yet see. You've been walking through valleys, my dear one, where the light is dim and the way is narrow. But valleys are not your destination. They are merely passages, sacred spaces where I teach you to trust, to lean into my presence, and to discover strength you never knew you had. Every valley leads to higher ground, my child, and every trial you endure is shaping you for the glory that awaits. Do you not realize that I have already gone before you? Every obstacle, every closed door, every delay, I have seen them all. And yet, my beloved child, I tell you with unwavering certainty, what lies ahead is worth every tear, every prayer, every weary step you've taken. The dreams I have placed in your heart are not there to torment you with longing, but to pull you forward into a future so radiant, so perfectly aligned with my will, that when you look back, you will marvel at how every piece fit together. My dear child, you worry about time, about missed opportunities, about delays, about the fear that you've fallen behind. But time is my creation, and I hold every second in my hands. What feels like waiting is not wasted. What feels like silence is not absence. I am working even now, in ways you cannot perceive, aligning circumstances, softening hearts, and preparing blessings so abundant that they will overflow. So lift your eyes, my precious one. The road may still curve beyond your sight, but trust this, the best is yet to come. The light ahead is not a fading ember. It is a rising sun, growing brighter with each new dawn. Walk forward, my child, not in fear, but in fierce hope. For I am leading you, and my plans for you are good beyond measure. Rest in this truth tonight. Let it settle into your spirit like a deep, unshakable knowing. The path ahead is brighter than you know, my dear child, because I am already there, waiting for you with open arms. My dear child, I see you there, weary from the fight, wondering if your struggles will ever end. You look around at others and question why your path seems so much harder, why the weight on your shoulders feels so much heavier. But listen to me now, my precious child, with the full attention of your heart. Every battle you face, every tear you cry, every prayer you whisper in the dark, none of it is wasted. Not a single moment. My beloved child, I need you to understand something profound. The struggles you resent today are the very things forging the unshakable strength you will need tomorrow. Just as gold is refined in fire, just as steel is tempered by pressure, your character is being shaped in ways you can't yet comprehend. The doubts that plague you, They are teaching you to trust deeper. The delays that frustrate you, they are building patience that will anchor you in storms to come. The heartbreaks that leave you raw, they are expanding your capacity to love, to heal, to understand others in their pain. My dear child, America was not built on comfort. It was built on courage, on resilience, on the unyielding belief that even in the darkest nights, dawn is coming. And so it is with you. The same spirit that carried pioneers through untamed wilderness, that lifted dreamers from oppression and opportunity, that turned suffering into strength, that same spirit lives in you. You come from a lineage of overcomers, my child, and the struggles you face now are not your downfall. They are your training ground. I know there are days when you want to quit, when the voices in your head whisper that you're not enough, that you'll never make it, that the world is too hard. But my precious one, those voices are liars. The truth is this: you are stronger than you think because I am with you. Every time you get back up, every time you choose faith over fear, every time you love when it would be easy to hate, you're proving that my power is made perfect in your weakness. My dear child, the America you live in celebrates a victory, but rarely honors the struggle that made it possible. But I see you. In the quiet hours when no one else is watching, when you kneel in prayer instead of giving up, when you extend kindness even when you're hurting. Those moments matter more than you know. They're the hidden battles where true greatness is born. So tonight, my beloved, I ask you to shift your perspective. Instead of begging me to remove the struggle, ask me to reveal its purpose. Instead of resenting the process, embrace it as a path to your promise. For I am not just preparing you for blessings, I am preparing you to sustain them, to stew with them wisely, and to shine so brightly that others find their way out of darkness because of your light. Hold on, my child. Your struggles are not your enemy. They are your allies in disguise. And one day, when you stand on the other side of the season, you will look back and realize every tear, every prayer, every act of courage was worth it, because the person you're becoming is far more extraordinary than you ever dreamed possible. Rest in this truth tonight. You are not just surviving, you are being transformed. My dear child, you try so hard to hide the cracks in your heart, those tender places where disappointment lingers, where failures haunt you, where the world's expectations have left you feeling inadequate. You cover them with busyness, with smiles, with carefully curated versions of yourself that say, "I'm fine," when inside, you're crumbling. But listen to me now, my precious child, with every fiber of your being. Those broken places, they are not your shame. They are your sacred ground, the very spaces where my light pours through most brilliantly. My beloved child, in a nation like America that worships perfection, polish success stories, filter realities, highlight reels masquerading as lives, it's easy to believe your value lies in what remains unbroken. But that's a lie, my dear one. The most powerful testimonies aren't born in victory laps. They're forged in hospital rooms and unemployment lines, in divorce courts and therapy sessions, in the quiet moments when you're alone with your fears and choose to whisper my name anyway. Your cracks are not evidence of failure. They are proof you've lived, loved, and dared to keep going. I know how you ache when comparisons creep in, when you scroll through social media and see others' milestones while you're still stumbling through your wilderness. My child, you must understand, the race you're running is yours alone. The woman who seems to have it all is fighting battles you can't see. The man who appears unshakable has wounds he hides before sunrise. America's obsession with winning has blinded so many to this truth. Real strength isn't about never falling. It's about letting me lift you up again and again until your scars become a roadmap for others lost in the dark. My dear child, think of the Japanese art kintsugi, where broken pottery is repaired with gold, making it more valuable than before it shattered. That's what I'm doing with you. Every heartbreak, every rejection, every dream that didn't unfold as you hoped, I'm filling those fissures with the gold of my grace. One day, you'll look back and realize your most painful seasons became the very places where my glory shone most vividly through you. That job loss, it led you to your purpose. That betrayal, it taught you to summit. That illness, it became your platform to comfort others. So tonight, my precious one, I invite you to a radical act of surrender. Stop hiding your brokenness. In a culture that screams, Fake it till you make it. Dare to be authentic. Your vulnerability will be your superpower. When you share your struggles, not as a victim, but as a victor in my making, you give others permission to stop pretending too. That's how revival starts, my child. Not with perfect people on stages, but with humble hearts in parking lots and coffee shops, saying me too, and watching me turn their pain into purpose. My dear child, the world needs your story. Not the airbrush version, but the real, raw, redeemed one. Your cracks are the channels through which my love reaches the desperate, the doubting, the done. So let the light in. Let it flood through every fractured piece of your past. What you call damaged, I call ready for my glory. My dear child, you whisper into the silence, wondering if your faithfulness matters when no one applauds. In a nation that measures worth by viral moments and instant validation, your quiet obedience can feel insignificant, like a single candle flickering in a stadium of spotlights. But come closer, my precious child, and let me tell you the sacred truth the world will never understand. The moments when you choose me without an audience are the ones that shake heaven the most. My beloved child, America celebrates a breakthrough, but ignores the daily bread of discipline that makes it possible. They applaud the preacher on stage, but forget the years he spent weeping in prayer alone. They admire the entrepreneur's success, but overlook the 3 a.m. failures that forged your resilience. But I see everything, my dear one. The mornings you drag yourself out of bed to seek me before the day demands your energy. The nights you forgive again when bitterness feels justified. The small acts of integrity, returning the extra change, speaking truth when a lie would be easier, loving the unlovable neighbor, that go unnoticed by everyone but me. These are not small things, my child. These are the bricks building your legacy. I know how discouragement creeps, and when your Instagram post gets no likes but the shallow ones go viral. I see your frustration when the co-worker who cuts corners gets promoted while your diligence seems overlooked. My dear child, hear me clearly. The applause of heaven sounds different than the world's. Every time you resist comparison, to honor your unique path, angels lean in. Every time you tithe despite financial fear, storehouses of blessing tremble. Every time you kneel to pray over your children instead of scrolling, generations are altered. Your hidden seasons are not punishment. They're preparation for influence no earthly algorithm can quantify. My precious one, remember David in the fields, tending sheep nobody noticed? That's where he learned to worship beyond performance, where his heart became a home for my presence. Those lonely pastures trained him to slay giants and survive palaces without losing himself. Your fields, right now, the mundane job, the unpaid volunteer role, the season of waiting, are your training ground too. The world says, promote yourself, but I say, let me lift you in due time. The TikTok generation chases overnight fame. But my child, the most enduring voices are those steeped in secret intimacy with me. This week, when you're tempted to believe your obedience doesn't matter unless it's seen, remember, the roots of great oaks grow deepest in darkness. Your private faithfulness is birthing public fruit you can't yet imagine. That manuscript written in obscurity, it will heal millions. That small business run with integrity, it will fund revivals. That prayer whispered over your kitchen sink, it's shifting atmospheres in places you'll one day walk into authority. My dear child, in an age of curated highlight reels, your quiet consistency is revolutionary. While others chase trends, you're building an unshakable kingdom. So light your candle in the secret place again today. Tend your small corner of the vineyard with joy. For I am recording every unseen yes to me, and your reward, both now and eternally, will far outweigh the world's fleeting applause. My dear child, there is coming a moment, perhaps it's already here, when every foundation you've trusted will shake. The cultural tides will rage against what you know is true, and the cost of following me will feel heavier than you ever imagined. In grocery store lines and family gatherings, at school board meetings and corporate offices, your faith will be tested not by dramatic persecutions, but by 1,000 subtle pressures to conform. But listen to me now, my precious child, with all the fierceness of my fatherly love. This is not your crisis. This is your crowning moment. My beloved child, America is changing faster than the seasons. What was celebrated as virtue yesterday is mocked as intolerance today. The values you built your life upon are being erased from textbooks and whispered about in shame. But my dear one, I need you to understand something revolutionary. You were born for such a time as this, not to cower in the shadows of political correctness, not to dilute my truth into palatable sound bites, but to stand unshakable and radiant as a living testament that my ways are still good, still true, still life when the world offers only hollow alternatives. I see how your hands tremble when you're the only one at the office party who won't laugh at the crude joke. I know the lump in your throat when relatives dismiss your convictions as outdated. My child, those knots in your stomach aren't weakness. They're the birth pangs of the courage being forged in you. Every time you choose integrity over inclusion, every time you whisper no when everyone else says yes, you're storing up treasures in heaven that will outlast every temporary discomfort. The early Christians didn't transform empires by blending in. They turned the world upside down by refusing to bend. My dear child, remember this when the loneliness of conviction weighs heavy. You stand in an unbroken line of prophets and martyrs, of ordinary men and women who changed history by refusing to surrender their yes to me. Their names weren't all recorded in history books, but they're etched forever in my heart. The schoolteacher who taught Genesis as truth when it was illegal, the nurse who prayed over patients despite hospital policies, the teenager who wore purity as a badge of honor in a hookup culture. And now you, my precious one, are holding that torch in your generation. This isn't about winning arguments or owning the libs, as your culture says. It's about something far more powerful, incarnating my love so compellingly that the world's compromises feel like ashes in comparison. When you bless those who mock you, when you extend grace to those who scorn your values, when you live with such radical joy in your convictions that observers can't explain your peace, that's when hearts truly change. The early church didn't grow because Christians won debates. It grew because their love was irresistible even to their persecutors. So tonight, my child, as you feel the tension between fitting in and staying faithful, hear my whisper. You are not losing. You're preparing. The same uncompromising spirit that carried Daniel to the lion's den, that sustained Esther before a king, that empowered a ragtag group of disciples to turn the Roman world upside down. That same spirit lives in you. The world may call you backward, but heaven calls you beloved. They may label you intolerant, but I call you mine. Rest in this unshakable truth. The temporary isolation of obedience is creating eternal weight of glory. And when the final chapter is written, my dear child, you'll stand amazed at how many souls were saved because you had the courage to remain standing when everyone else knelt to the spirit of the age. My dear child, I see you there, hands gripping the shattered pieces of what might have been, staring at the wreckage of plans you prayed would last. The divorce papers no one saw coming. The pink slip that stole your security. The diagnosis that rewrote your future. The rebellion of a child that broke your heart into 1,000 jagged pieces. You whisper into the hollow silence. How do I begin again? Oh, my precious child, come close now and let me breathe truth into your weary soul. What the world calls failure is simply my invitation to rebuild holier ground. My beloved child, in a nation addicted to highlight reels and overnight success stories, we've forgotten the sacred beauty of starting over. America worships the self-made, but scorns the broken. We celebrate comebacks, but shame those still crawling through their crisis. But listen with your spirit, my dear one. Every great revival in history was birthed from ashes. The most powerful testimonies weren't born in boardrooms, but in bankruptcy courts. Not at award ceremonies, but in AA meetings. Not when everything was perfect, but when everything fell apart. Your rock bottom isn't your end. It's your altar. I know the shame that wraps around your throat when you say, I'm starting over at 45. I see you comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20, measuring your messy middle against their curated finale. But my child, haven't you learned? Joseph's prison became his palace. David's cave transformed into his throne room. The widow's last drop of oil birthed an unending flow. What looks like an ending to human eyes is simply my favorite kind of beginning. Those hands trembling as you hold the broken shards of your dreams, they're holding something far more powerful than perfection, They're holding potential waiting for my touch. My dear child, let me redefine what success looks like in this new season. The world will tell you to rush, to mask your scars, to pretend this never happened. But I say move slowly. Let every tear water the soil of your new beginning. That business you lost, it taught you discernment. That relationship that ended, it revealed your worth. That health crisis, it became your compass back to what truly matters. America screams bigger, faster, more, but I whisper deeper, truer, freer. Your reset isn't about rebuilding what was. It's about discovering what could be when you let me design your life. This week, when the memories ambush you at 2 a.m., when the what-ifs threaten to steal your peace, remember Ruth, a widow in a foreign field who became the grandmother of kings. Remember Peter, who wept bitterly over his betrayal, then preached a sermon that shook nations. My precious one, your past doesn't disqualify you. It anoints you with compassion no untouched soul could ever carry. Those stretch marks on your heart, they're proof you've loved, risked, and grown. So take a deep breath, my child. That blank page before you isn't empty. It's expectant. I'm not asking you to forget the past. I'm inviting you to redeem it. Every tear, every failure, every closed door has deposited something in you that will make this next chapter radiant beyond imagining. The world may see a restart, but heaven sees a resurrection in progress. My dear child, I see you pouring out kindness into thankless spaces, packing lunches for ungrateful teenagers, praying for co-workers who mock your faith, extending grace to that family member who always drains you dry. In a nation that measures impact by Instagram likes and viral moments, your quiet act of love feel like shouting into a void. My precious child, come rest against my shoulder tonight, and let me tell you the stunning truth. Your unseen love is shaking hell's foundations more than any megaphone ever could. My beloved child, America has forgotten the power of ordinary saints. We chase platforms while angels document kitchen table ministries. We admire stadium preachers, but overlook the Sunday school teacher faithfully showing up for decades. But listen with your spirit, my dear one. The kingdom of God advances not through celebrity, but through continuance. That meal you delivered to the grieving widow, it echoed through heaven louder than a Grammy speech. That hour you spent listening to the lonely cashier, it registered on my scales of justice more than any Supreme Court ruling. When you love without expectation of return, you mirror me most perfectly.